Chris, I'm curious. You had said you've spent over $1 million on your own professional development, which I think is badass. If you could consolidate that into a summary, in what areas did you focus on that had the highest ROI for you, at least on a personal level, just in your overall well-being, or on a business level? Because I want to get more into that myself. I've been invited to a lot of these masterminds and things like that. I went to my first one this year. It was pretty cool. But I wonder, am I not leaning, hard enough into that? So from your perspective, what would you recommend for anyone?
So I recommend is like spend as much as makes you uncomfortable, right? Like if you're comfortable and you're spending on personal development, you're not doing enough. And so for me, like it's been being a part of the masterminds, it's being part of the courses, it's being part of like these different just areas, and the relationships that I have put into my corner have been like it's impossible to put a price tag on those. Right now I'm a part of a program called OPM. It's at Harvard, and it stands for Owners Presence Management. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. And essentially, what it is, it's this high level executive education where you go and you live at Harvard for 3 weeks a year straight for 3 years, and you're with a cohort of, like, my cohort has like 165 people, and they're business owners and very successful business owners from all over. Like there's minimum revenue thresholds, and then there's an application process and everything to be a part of it. And out of the 165 people in my group, there's probably close to 50 billionaires. And I made reference to like one of my best friends in that program. He does 26 billion a year in Dubai at 30% margins. And like the experience of that, like we do this cool like case study, and there's like a really cool education aspect to it, and you're really busy and you're in with like some of the best professors in the world and everything like that. But more importantly, you live there 3 weeks straight and have every meal and exercise and activity with people that would not regularly have time. And like of the 165, only 33 are American. And so it's opened me up into this like crazy, like international, worldwide network. Um, and like that experience at Harvard, I'm going into my third year. Next month, I'll be going for 3 more weeks, and then we'll be done. But like the relationships, like I said, that I've been able to just harness from that group are unbelievable. And so that's one perfect example. But then all these other masterminds that I've been a part of, like over the years, I became really good friends with Alex Hormozy well before Alex Hormozy became who he is on the internet today, right? And we were introduced back in 2018 at a mastermind that I attended up in like the mountains in Utah. And we hung out for 3 days straight. Me, him, and Layla became really good friends. And then it became like every time we went to an event and we were at the same event together, we'd go and do dinner. And then he'd come and hang out at my cabin and different things like that. And so like, and then all of us, it's interesting because if you listen to Alex Hormozy's podcast, he'll reference that he went to a cabin up in the mountains, and that's where he realized that he was fishing in a pond and not in a big blue ocean. And that was my cabin, that he references to. And so it's just like cool to be a part of all these different intersections of so many incredible people's lives, and how many people have done that for me. And so yeah, dude, like there's just so much power. And like I said, if you're comfortable in what you're spending, spend more, because it's really hard to put a price tag on the experiences and the relationships that you get from these great groups.
Love that. Yeah, it's ironic. I was actually my buddy's getting his MBA at Harvard right now, and he just literally 3 days ago I was looking at that OPM program because he was like, "You should do this." So I went on the site and I was reading into it. So just selfish question: is it just 3 weeks a year, and then you like? I envisioned there's curriculum outside of that, and I was like, man, I don't know if I have time to like go back to school, but I figured it can't be that bad because these are owners and operators that like, I can't be doing homework for 5 hours every night, sort of thing.
No, dude, it's tailored to high level executives that don't have time. And so like example, there is a small project that we have to have ready by the time we go in October, but it's probably only like a 6 or 7 hour project total. Um, but when you're there like I mean, it's freaking like that. But then outside of that, we get together like once a month on Zoom. It's more of just like a check-in and how are things or whatever. But probably more valuable is like the visits in like for example, in February, I flew to India. A girl from my living group, she was getting married. Her dad's a billionaire. He rented out a beachside resort in India. I got to go and experience an Indian wedding. There were 15 of my Harvard group like there, and then I flew from there to Dubai and hung out with my buddy that, like I said, is doing 26 billion a year. Like that's probably the only time commitment, is like the personal going, the things that you would want to be doing anyways, but not the homework that you're talking about.